Welcome back to the U.S. Department of Education's Charter Schools Program series, celebrating National Charter Schools Week. Today, we are highlighting the Credit Enhancement for Charter Schools program. Credit enhancement is an essential support for charter schools nationwide. While many charter operators can secure startup and operating funds, accessing affordable, permanent facilities remain a major hurdle. The Credit Enhancement Program helps bridge that gap by empowering organizations to provide financial solutions that open doors for thousands of students. One organization leading the way is Building Hope. Since its founding in 2003, Building Hope has been a trusted nonprofit partner to the charter school community, helping schools finance, develop, and manage educational facilities. We are eager to hear more from Robin Odlin, Project Director for Building Hope's Credit Enhancement Grant. He will discuss the ways Building Hope partners with schools across the country, and specifically, how the Credit Enhancement Grant has strengthened their mission and expanded opportunities for students.
Thank you, Dr. Hinton. So Building Hope was formed in 2003 by Sally May. It wanted to form a new entity to undertake efforts to improve the educational opportunities in the District of Columbia through mainly charter schools. So it capitalized Building Hope with a large grant of over $29 million. And we began our efforts to promote charter schools in the District of Columbia. And over the years, Building Hope has probably worked with virtually all of the charter schools in the district in one way or another. We've financed a number of them, and we really helped create the fabulous charter market that exists in the District of Columbia. In DC, roughly 50% of the public schools are charter schools. It's a very, very well-run set of schools. The authorizer is tremendous. It's a very healthy environment and well supported by the community. And I think that Building Hope was a large part of what enabled the charter network in the district to really thrive. Building Hope has 3 credit enhancement grants. We were one of the first grantees, and the grant that we were awarded was around $5 million, and we used that primarily to help new charters that served low-income populations, and charters that were underperforming. We received another grant in 2017, the focus of which was really to help our development entity fund new charter schools. And then in 2020, we received a very large $33 million grant that was focused on 5 states, the District of Columbia, Texas, Nevada, Idaho, and Florida. All 3 of the grants that we've received basically address the one fundamental problem that charters have in opening new facilities, and that is they simply don't have the resources to entice lenders to lend to them to open up new facilities. They don't have the equity that a typical for-profit commercial real estate developer would have. And that's where the credit enhancement funds really come into play. It is used primarily to credit enhance or to supplant the equity that the schools simply don't have. To give you a couple of examples, we use that money routinely to fund pre-development expenses on new charter schools. Schools simply don't have the resources to spend up to $1 million or even $1.5 million funding pre-development expenses. And what that includes is, engineering studies. It includes environmental mitigation before you can even get a senior mortgage loan. You may have to take care of some minor environmental problems. It covers drawings and all the architectural work that goes into a new facility. Schools typically don't have that money, and lenders are loath to lend to perform those activities. That's where we use credit enhancement to a large extent. Schools come to us through a variety of channels. We are known widely across the country now for all the work that we've done. But in addition to schools hearing about us just through the normal channels, we get referrals through attorneys, investment banks, various banks, and then we do our own sort of deep dive prospecting and identify high performing schools, growing networks in key states. And we actively reach out to those schools to understand exactly what their facility needs are and how we can help them. A really good example of how we've used the credit enhancement to fund a very, very innovative school and use it in a way that is helping with community development in general is a project that we did in Paterson, New Jersey. It was Phillips Academy Charter School. Paterson, New Jersey is a very low income, impoverished city just outside of New York City. There was a charter school that was a few years old, needed a new facility, was growing, and wanted to build a new facility. We found a location. So together with the school, we identified a number of resources that could come to play to build a really phenomenal school facility for Phillips. The total project cost was over $37 million, and we used about $2.5 million to help fund some of the environmental mitigation by taking the credit enhancement funds and getting a loan that we used to fund that work. It's just a tremendous asset for this community, and the school is now operating in just a beautiful facility. Another example to show how flexible the credit enhancement money is and sort of the unique ways that we've used it is a school in Florida, Discovery Academy of Science, built a new facility. It had bond financing to build the facility and ran into some construction overruns. The bond funds had completely been spent, but it still needed about $1 million to complete some offsite improvements that the city was requiring. The problem is that once you close a bond transaction, it's very difficult then to bring on additional debt. All of the collateral has been pledged to bondholders, and there are very few lenders that would typically lend to a school without getting adequate collateral. What we did is we stepped in and we pledged $1 million of credit enhancement money to a third-party lender who could rely on that as the collateral. That is a situation that, frankly, we run into quite often, where there's a senior lender that's unwilling or can't put the additional money in, but the school needs additional capital, and this money can be used as collateral for other lenders to come in and make sure that the school gets the financing that it needs. Another significant benefit of the credit enhancement funds is it's extremely flexible. And we use the flexibility within the credit enhancement program to address the particular needs of certain states that we're operating in. Not all states are the same. Certain states have different needs. For example, in the state of Florida, the state has a significant program to entice high quality charter operators to come into the state and open up schools in low income neighborhoods where the only alternatives are failing schools. That program is called the Schools of Hope program. What we did in our last credit enhancement grant is try to work with that program to provide additional funds when necessary, should they run out of the funds provided by the state. So that program is a $100 million revolving loan fund. Building Hope manages that for the state of Florida. Often we'll run into a situation where a School of Hope operator needs just a little bit extra money, and that's where we can utilize some of our credit enhancement funds to help those transactions. I can't tell you how impactful the credit enhancement program is. Schools are not like the typical commercial real estate property owner. They simply don't have extra funds. Any lender requires a certain amount of equity. Schools are scrambling to pull that together. The credit enhancement funds really help in getting banks and other lenders comfortable to fund projects. One of the innovative uses that Building Hope has taken advantage of with the credit enhancement funds is to partner with certain lenders to develop lines of credit that can be used to fund pre-development expenses on any number of investments. What we've done is we've found a single lender who can operate very, very quick and efficiently on multiple projects, and they don't get tied up in the particulars of the project. They're relying on the cash, and we can call the money down for the schools as needed. That has helped us and a number of schools over the past 5 years. In the last 6 years that I've worked at Building Hope, I've really grown to appreciate the value that charter schools bring to families. It is a choice opportunity for families that's well thought out, that's well managed, and it creates an opportunity for families to really direct how their kids are taught. I've worked with any number of schools that have very unique focuses, and parents have been able to find the school that really suits the needs of their children.